What is going on, y'all? Gamers Goon here today with your Week 7 prediction video for the NFL Week 7. We got some decent games this week. And then once again, these primetime games, man. These primetime games, they just are not it. I'm not looking forward to some of these primetime games, man. We got Denver versus New Orleans. Denver versus New Orleans tonight. Thursday night, 7:15. It'll be fun to see Bo Nix play, right? I mean, I'm an Oregon fan, so it'll be fun to see him play. But you look at the Saints. Derek Carr's not there. They're not hitting their stride like they were. Spencer Rattler's the guy now. I believe Olave is out of this game. I think Rashid Shaheed is supposed to be out of this game. This game should have been flexed. This game absolutely should not have been a Thursday night game. It's a joke that it is. And yet here we are sitting here with this as our Thursday night game. Kind of crazy. But the good news is I'm fairly confident in my prediction in this one. I got 9 confidence points on the Broncos getting the job done. Only 32% of people are picking the Broncos, which I think is ridiculous. I think that's ridiculous. The Broncos have been solid so far. The Saints, I get that they were good to start the season, right? I get that. And I get that Rattler did not look horrible in his first career start. They actually, last week, let's see if I can find it, they put up 27 points as an offense, but they gave up 51. They gave up 51. Not to say that Broncos are capable of putting up 51 points right now, but the Broncos only being picked 30% is crazy to me. This seems like, I don't know what the betting markets look like, but this seems like a great value pick in general, just because the Broncos, I think, are the better team here. You look at the defense, I think the Broncos got the edge. I think the offense, Bo Nix having at least 6 games under his belt, I think that's a lot more reliable than kind of one good week for Spencer Rattler. Now, not to say Spencer Rattler's bad or anything, but I do expect there to be growing pains, not only with Spencer Rattler, but all of the rookie QBs, right? So I think that they can get the job done. Broncos, give me the victory. Now, another quarterback that I do see having some growing pains situation, but I invested heavily into his situation. Demario Douglas last week popped off in fantasy. I traded Pickens basically for Demario Douglas, and hopefully it works out. There was some more stuff in there. I got rid of Dalton Kincaid because of the Amari Cooper trade. I believe I picked up a pick actually. Let me tell you the actual trade now that it's on my mind. But I invested heavily into this Patriots system. I invested heavily into Drake May. I picked up Jake Ferguson, who was obviously on bye. Picked up a second-round pick and got Demario Douglas for Kincaid, Pickens, and a third. Let me know if I got fleeced down below. It was a little difficult getting that trade to go through. Kincaid, obviously, have a lot of value on him. But the thing is, I wanted to pick up that pick. I wanted to get Demario Douglas before he started to rise his stock even more, especially if Drake May is going to use him as a number 1 receiver going 9 targets. I wanted to pick up that second-round pick, and then on top of that, I also have T.J. Hawkinson coming back. Probably not this week, but next week off of my IR. So I'm looking at a trio of tight ends right now of Noah Fant, Jake Ferguson, and T.J. Hawkinson. And I was going to be honest, T.J. Hawkinson was probably going to start over Kincaid anyways, so I figured why not try to make somewhat of a lateral move at tight end by picking up Ferguson. Pickens, his situation's hit or miss depending on the QB. Long term, it's probably Justin Fields. So I wanted to get out on that and get you Demario Douglas. So anyways, with that being said, this is the London game. Jacksonville's been in London for some time now. They didn't look great last time out. Maybe they have the advantage actually in this game. 85% of people think they do. I'm still riding with the Patriots though. The Jaguars, I think, are terrible. ETN does not sound like he is going to be playing this game. Tanks Bigsby, he struggled a little bit last week once ETN went down, and we saw Dearness Johnson actually get some run. The Jaguars, man, they don't look good. They don't look good right now. They look like they can be competing for a top 5 pick. Jaguars, I want nothing to do with them. I'm picking the Patriots. Patriots, not necessarily world beaters, but I do think that they're better than the Jaguars at this point. I got 10 confidence points on the Patriots getting the job done. Don't love having that many confidence points against the Jaguars, but I am more confident in that game than some other games out there this week. Next, we got Seattle versus Atlanta. This is one of those games I'm not nearly as confident as the Patriots beating the Jaguars. I got the Falcons with 8 confidence points. 88% of people agree with me, and I think that is because last time we saw the Seahawks, they crapped the bed. They looked terrible. But I don't think that's the Seahawks team that they are. I think this game's going to be close. I think this should be a solid game. I could see Seattle winning this game. When you look at Seattle, you have the big-time playmakers at the receiver position. Lockett, who's been solid this season. DK Metcalf, obviously, probably a top 20 receiver, if not top 15, maybe even top 10 receiver in the NFL. JSN, one of the best young receivers in the league today. Noah Fant, who's a solid playmaker when given an opportunity. You got the running back in K9, Kenneth Walker, who's, in my opinion, top 5, at worst top 10. It all comes down to, can Geno get the job done in this game? I'm not riding with Geno. I'm taking the Falcons, but I think Geno's capable. Geno's one of those QBs that he can have one week where you're like, oh, why are we playing Geno Smith? Why don't we just move on? Why don't we just decide that it's Sam Howell time? And then the next week, Geno will show you something, and you'll be like, well, that's why we have Geno Smith as QB. Geno Smith is just one of those guys. He's like the Jameis Winstons of the world. He's like the Derek Carrs of the world, right? That one week he can be one of the best QBs in the league. The next week you can be sitting there, well, why are we still stuck with him? I mean, you could throw Baker in there too, honestly. But the Falcons, a little more consistency. Drake London has been really solid this year. Bijan's starting to find his stride. Kirk Cousins having fun. I think the Falcons got the edge. I got 8 confidence points on them. Tennessee versus Buffalo. Tennessee's terrible. I would say that every single week. I do not like Tennessee. I think they're terrible. I don't like how Will Levis tried to downplay the Bears' victory over them, blaming him. Well, we made mistakes. No, they didn't make plays. We made mistakes. Somebody's got to make a play. Somebody's got to make a play, buddy. And they made a play to make you look like a fool, and a lot of teams have so far this year. Titans, you should start to think maybe drafting a QB because he ain't the guy. I'll say that every single week. Bills, on the other hand, just got Amari Cooper. This is a perfect game for Amari Cooper. They don't need Amari Cooper in this game to win, but this is a good integration game for Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper is going to have a limited role in this game because obviously you're still learning a playbook, but I do see them when he is, like, say he's on a 25, 30 snap count, right? I see them heavily targeting Amari Cooper while he is in the game. I see him, even if he is on a limited snap count, I could see Amari Cooper surpassing like 6 or 7 targets. I think that's pretty safe to say. The Bills, I think they're going to try to make him an impactful player in this game. Just start to boost the confidence of Amari Cooper coming out of a trash situation. Let's be honest, it was a trash situation over there in Cleveland. But the Bills, I expect them fully to get him involved. They don't need Amari Cooper to win this game. They have the luxury of using Amari Cooper to win this game. The Bills win this game. They win it big. I see this game being a complete blowout. Another game I see being a complete blowout. Bengals versus the Browns. The Browns just traded their best receiver. Deshaun Watson looks terrible. The running backs haven't really done exactly what we thought they might coming into the year. Receiver 1, I don't even know who it is. Is it Elijah Moore? I don't even know if he's still there or if he is there. I feel like he is. I'm not sure on that, though. Where is Elijah Moore? Let me Google this. Yeah, he's with the Browns. So is it him? I don't really know. When it comes to it, the Bengals, they need victories. They need victories because we know they had those poor starts to the season. Chase Brown's been looking good lately. Jamar Chase has been looking good. T. Higgins is healthy. Eric All has been pretty impressive. Also, as a tight end, didn't really expect him to get too much run this early in his career, but he's been pretty solid. Joe Burrow, he's got to find the stride. I think the Bengals win this game pretty comfortably as well. 15 confidence points on them. And the Bills won against the Titans. I have a lot of confidence, but you see the jump, right? I don't have supreme confidence in the Patriots winning, but at 11, I have the most confidence in the world the Bills are going to win. Houston versus Green Bay, another one, jump ball kind of game for me. Houston, 35% of people are taking. I'm going to ride with Houston in this game, though. I got 6 confidence points on them. I know Nico Collins is not in this game, but you figure that last year you didn't have a Steph Diggs. Now you got a Steph Diggs, and you still got Tank Dell. I believe Joe Mixon's healthy for this game. I like the Texans in this one. The Packers, they've been solid. Receiving core's banged up, though. Dontavian Wicks banged up. Christian Watson, I think, is going to be healthy enough to play this game. I don't think he's re-aggravated anything, but he's always an injury concern. Tucker Kraft has been really solid for the Packers so far this year. A lot of offensive weapons on the Packers, but a little bit banged up right now. So I'm gonna go with the Texans. I think the Texans have a week where they prove exactly why they're so highly regarded. So I'm going to ride with the Texans this one, 6 confidence points. Miami versus Indianapolis. Another game I'm super confident in. I'm really, really confident. This one is the Colts beating the Dolphins. The Dolphins, without Tua, have been not good. They haven't been good at all. Now, with Tua, obviously it's a different story, but we haven't really seen A-Chain get involved as much as he was with Tua. We haven't seen Tyreek Hill have those big games as he does with Tua. We haven't seen Jalen Waddle really do too much without Tua, right? And until that's the case, I don't like the Dolphins to win. I think they're solid with Tua, but their backup situation is questionable. Huntley, I thought, would be an answer. He has not been the answer so far. Colts, up and down team, a team that has had to play Joe Flacco the last few weeks. Anthony Richardson should be healthy enough to play this game. I believe Josh Downs is coming into this game a little banged up, but I do expect him to have a big role. Pittman, we'll see what he can do. JT, he's been banged up a little bit. It might be Trey Sermon, but I do think JT will be good to go in this game. So I'm going to ride with the Colts. The Colts getting back their injured players. The Dolphins, on the other hand, playing a game without Tua. They haven't looked very good since Tua's been out. So I'm riding with the Colts. Another game, iffy confidence. I actually had the Vikings on this game for a minute, and then I swapped it to the Lions before starting this video. 60% of people are taking the Lions. 60%. I'm taking the Lions with them. I got 7 confidence points on the Lions. But this is a tricky one. The Vikings have been really solid. They've been really, really solid. The Lions have been really, really solid. The Lions just blew out Dallas, right? They just blew them out. The Lions, now, we would like to take a little bit of time here to shout out to Aiden Hutchinson. Hopefully you come back healthy. I don't know if it'll be this year, but wishing you the best in your recovery. And that's an important thing to do, right? Because it doesn't matter if you're a division rival. It doesn't really matter if that's who you're going to be going up against in the next few weeks, right? If you're a Bears fan or even a Vikings fan, Packers fan, whatever. At the end of the day, you don't want to you want to play the Lions' best team. You want to play the Vikings' best. You don't want to see guys go down, especially injuries like his. He had to get surgery. So hopefully for him, he is back sooner rather than later. Don't know what exactly the timeline is there, but shout out to Aiden Hutchinson. Hoping you get better. Hope to see you back on a football field here at some point this season, if not this season. Hopefully by week 1 next year, hopefully we get to see you back in there. Hopefully it's not something that lingers because I mean, we had to deal with something like that in Chicago that lingered for a while in Lonzo Ball, and we just saw him last night start to play. Shout out to Lonzo Ball for playing again though. But hopefully Aiden Hutchinson's all right, and hopefully we'll see him back on a football field at some point. But Lions-Vikings. I'm riding with the Lions. Lions, they're going to play with the chip on their shoulder. They just lost their defensive guy, right? Their defensive star. They're going to play with that chip on their shoulder. They're going to beat the Vikings. Vikings been up and down. Aaron Jones might be a little banged up going into this game. Might not be him. They traded for Cam Akers this week. Maybe Cam Akers is the guy. I don't see him as an RB1 necessarily. But I'm going to ride with the Lions with 7 confidence points. Eagles versus the Giants. 13 confidence points on the Eagles. Big time on the Eagles. Big time on the Eagles. Coming off a bye. The Eagles, Saquon Barkley, get him involved. Stop trying to be cute and go with Jalen Hurts. Get Saquon involved. Get Saquon involved. You don't need much more than Saquon to win this game. Stop being cute. Or actually, they didn't come off a bye because they had A.J. Brown. Did they already have their bye? A.J. Brown played last week. That's right. But A.J. Brown back, healthy. Devontae Smith. He should be good to go, I believe, for this game. I think I saw something about Goddard being questionable, but I think the Eagles will have plenty of firepower to beat the Giants. Give me the Eagles 13 confidence points. The Vegas Raiders going up against the Rams. I am so glad that this is not a primetime game. I'm assuming the 3:25 game that I'm going to get is the Chiefs versus 49ers. I might come back to regret this on Sunday. Raiders, Rams. Who would want to watch this game? If Cooper Kupp plays, I got some fantasy stake in it. Other than that, I don't really care whatsoever about this game. Aiden O'Connell starting on one side with no receivers. Not sure if Jacoby Myers is going to play. They just traded Devontae Adams to the Jets. Zamir White's been banged up pretty much all season. The Rams, they've been banged up pretty much all season. Not a fun game to watch. I got the Rams 2 confidence points. Not a game I particularly want to go out of my way to watch. Carolina versus Washington. Washington has looked solid. The Panthers obviously have not. They've looked better with Andy Dalton than they did Bryce Young. But the Commanders, they seem to be hitting their stride. Their offense looks good. Terry McLaurin's quickly becoming a top 10, maybe at worst top 15 receiver in the league. Brian Robinson, same thing at the running back position. Jaden Daniels, same thing at the QB position. They've all looked really solid. They got a nice young core there. Give me the Commanders, 14 confidence points on them. Kansas City versus San Francisco. 1 confidence point on this game. 1 confidence point on this game because I am going to do it yet again. I'm riding with San Francisco to stop Patrick Mahomes and company from being undefeated. Give me the Niners. 43% of people are taking the Niners as well. Next, we get Devontae Adams' debut on prime time. Why are we getting the Steelers so much on prime time, by the way? Nobody wants to watch the Steelers play football. They're a boring brand of football. I mean, I guess with Russell Wilson being there this week, maybe. But the Jets versus the Steelers, I could not think of a worse primetime game. This is going to be a defensive showcase. The Jets' defense is pretty solid. The Steelers' defense is really solid. This sounds to me like a game that neither team hits above 20. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but this just doesn't excite me. This just does not excite me one bit. Why are the Chiefs 49ers not the game of the night? I don't know. Jets, give me 4 confidence points on them. Give me 4 confidence points on them. You got Aaron Rodgers with his number 1 receiver finally back. Garrett Wilson, I think, is still going to be the number 1, but Devontae Adams is going to easily take away Allen Lazard's role. So, the Jets, I think they'll be fine. This is not a situation like Amari Cooper working in with the Bills, I think. because obviously there's a lot of familiarity there with Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. So I do think that Davante Adams is going to play pretty much all the snaps here for the Jets. Also, the Jets, what are you doing? You traded for Davante Adams, but here's my thing. Davante Adams does not fix the problem that you guys had last time we saw you. Your offensive line couldn't block. Your receivers weren't the issue. So, answer those questions. I don't know. Ravens and Tampa Bay. Now, this is when we talk about a good primetime game, this should be a good primetime game. The Buccaneers, a team that always likes to hang around. The Ravens, a team that I think will be pretty solid going into the playoffs. I got 5 confidence points on the Ravens. I got 5 confidence points on them. You never know with the Buccaneers. Chris Godwin's been great. He's been great. They got Mike Evans still. Bucky Irving's been solid. Sean Tucker is now coming around, who looks like he might be the RB2 in this game. Maybe not if Rachaad White is healthy. But the Ravens, this is going to be a high-scoring game. Expect to see Lamar throw the ball a lot. Derrick Henry's been solid. If you get some goal line work, he should get some TDs. Ravens win the game, though, 5 confidence points. Then we got the Chargers versus the Cardinals. The Chargers versus the Arizona Cardinals. This one, I got 3 confidence points on the Chargers. But when you're looking at it, this should be a solid game. The Cardinals are a solid team. Marv Harrison Jr. should be... I don't know if he's playing. Did he get hurt last week? I think he got hurt last week. But he should be somebody that you're going to be tuning in for, right? Primetime game. I haven't got to see any Marv Harrison Jr., so we'll be interested to see what he does. And then you got the Chargers side of things. Pretty much similar team to what we've been seeing, but they're a solid team. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in that game, but I am riding with the Chargers there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.